Hey, today what we're going to do is learn how to make a Mardi Gras mask using stuff that you have at home. And some of the things that we want to use some thick paper. So some of these mailers that you get that are kind of thick, a lot thicker than your normal paper, or packaging, some of the packaging, cereal boxes, coffee boxes, cracker boxes, you know, any of your snack boxes. It's very thin cardboard, okay? And what we're going to do, we're going to start out first, we're going to start with your cardboard. Now, if you have a big cereal box, a cereal box is probably about a whole piece of notebook paper wide. My cardboard here, let's just go ahead and, I'm going to cut on the folded lines here, because if I use that, my mask is going to be kind of floppy in that area. So I'm going to cut, first I'm going to do is cut off these folded parts. That way I know exactly how wide my mask is going to be. Now save these parts because you might want to add other things to your mask. So we'll just kind of put these over to the side. Alright, so this is how big my mask is going to be. I went ahead and I found a scrap sheet of paper, and basically you can just take any piece of paper that you have, put your piece of cardboard on top of it, like so, and trace it. Okay. And now I know exactly how big of a space I have for my mask. Okay. Now, you can make a symmetrical mask or you can make an asymmetrical mask. Either way, you're going to start out symmetrical. Okay, and I know that you're thinking, but I want to make something, you know, that is a little different up here at the top. Let's get this one up. Okay, see how this one is asymmetrical, right? It's not the same on both sides. But when I created it, let's fold it in half. We're going to do the symmetrical trick. When I created it, see, I created it symmetrically, where it was the same on both sides. But once I cut it out and opened it up, I used this side because I already knew where my line went. See, I don't have that line over here. And I just cut this out. So now, you know, do I want that asymmetrical look to be on the left side, or I can flip it over? Do I want it on the right side? So either way, you want it symmetrical or asymmetrical, we're still going to create it symmetrically, the same on both sides, okay? So now that I have my paper, I would just take a scrap sheet of paper and just doodle. Look up on Google some different kinds of designs, okay? And then you're going to take your sheet of paper, and this is just a scrap sheet of paper for me. I'm going to fold it in half horizontally, okay? The folded edge is really important because this is where our nose goes. So you can take your brainstorm that you have here, and I'm just going to draw this in Sharpie so you can see it better. So the first thing I want to do, you know, if I want to have something below my mask, I don't really want that. I want to make sure I leave some space. Now, these little things up here, if I want them to be taller, I can always use that scrap cardboard I had, okay? So the first thing I want to do is make where my nose goes. So here is my folded edge, not the open edge, the folded edge. So I'm going to start round down, and I'm going to use all my space, okay? I'm going to come all the way over to the edge. Now, you're wondering about the eyes. So let me get my eye paper out. I've got some different kinds of eyes. When you look on Google and look at different kinds of eyes, some are round, some use the smile and frown. Some kind of make that cat eye looking, you know, where it's round and kind of comes to a point. This one looks like a big teardrop, doesn't it? That's kind of interesting. But you want the eye big enough that when you put it on your face, you can actually see out of it. So you don't want to make teeny tiny eyes. All right. So let's see. Here's my mask. I'm going to, let's go ahead and get our eye on. Now, your eyes, from your corner of your eye to the other corner of your eye, is about 3 fingers wide. Okay? So, that's a rule of thumb. Not that thumb. But to make your mask so we have enough room for your eyes and you can see out of it, I'm going to measure a finger and a half-ish, and put a mark so I know where the corner of my eye needs to be. If I put it too close to the middle, this will be really weak when I cut it out. Okay? So here's the corner of my eye, and then pick your eye design. What kind of eye design do I want to do for my eye? You know, if I want to go with the design that I have up here, I kind of have an interesting looking eye, and then it rounds up and over. Usually give yourself at least 2 fingers width for the width of your eye. All right, so now, let me stop you wiggling. Now, above the eye. So I kind of wanted a, let's see, I'm going to make this kind of round down. And I'm going to make some abbreviated jester things. So if I want my little jester deal, his little hat, maybe I'll put another one up here. And there we have our other little circle. So that I make my jester hat looking thing. Alright, so now you can always modify, but you know how big everything is going to be. And if you decide, I want to make my mask bigger and then use these scraps to make the jester pieces and glue those onto the back, do it. Alright, so then cutting this out, so hold your piece of paper together. Go. Now, how to cut out the eyes safely. With regular notebook paper or copy paper, if you pinch and don't crease it all the way to the end, kind of hold your fold, your little curve there, open up your scissors because you're cutting 4 pieces of paper, and let's make a cut. Now, the paper is still very stiff, so we kind of wanted to make it a little bit easier for us to get our scissors in. Alright, so now I can get my scissors in, and you want to turn it. Turn your paper. You don't want to do the snippy, 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 because then it makes it really jagged around your eye. Alright, let's see if I can get this. There we go, get it turning. Now, we'll have to come back the other direction. Let's get rid of this floppy stuff. Remember, it doesn't matter what the scraps look like. It matters what the actual mask looks like, right? So let's round that around. Now I know you're thinking ahead to the cardboard and going, I can't fold and pinch my cardboard so much. Okay, we got a solution for that. Okay, so here's my mask. I might want to add on to up here with more stuff. That's not a problem. So this is my mask, and that's what I want to go with. Fits on my cardboard. Remember, because you want to use all your space. Trace it, and you know, if I want to do more stuff up here, I can get another piece of scrap paper and line it up and plan out my whole design on paper before I start with my cardboard and cutting out that second piece. Okay, so make sure I've got all my edges on here, and I'm going to go ahead and trace. Now I know you're thinking ahead to those eyes. Now there are safe ways to cut this thin cardboard that you can do without stabbing the cardboard. Stabbing the cardboard is not a safe way to cut the cardboard. That is a dangerous way, and it's a way to get you go to the hospital, and nobody want to go to the hospital right now, right? Okay, got everything? Okay, so cutting this out, let's get the big stuff first. Get that out of the way. Now sometimes with the cardboard you get into these tight corners that you can't turn your scissors around. Take your scissors out and attack it from a different direction. See, we can do it that way, boop, and they just fall out. Okay? Doesn't matter what the scraps look like, as long as what we want looks good. Okay? So, get this cut out. So, how to cut out the eyeballs? Because you want to make sure that we can see out of them and we're not going to poke an eye out because they're so jagged. Alright, so here's the trick. Now this is thin cardboard. This is, just a coffee box. What you want to do, I'm kind of bending, but I don't want to crease it. I'm just it's rounded. So I'm going to take my scissors, see how wide open they are? And I'm going to get a little cut inside there. I didn't make a big crease. Now, it's still very stiff, so I've got to make a couple of cuts inside the eye so I can move around, okay? Now, take your time. If little pieces come out, let's get that stuff out of the way. Let me kind of get around this way so I can go to the back corner of the eye. Okay? And I know you're going, but you're missing all this. I'm going to come back to it. Got to do a little bit at a time so that we don't have big jagged eyeballs. Nobody wants big jagged eyeballs. Okay. There. A little better. I can clean that up a little bit. But you get the idea, right? Now, if I wanted to add more stuff up here, let's clear out the space here. So here's my template, and say I wanted to add something up here to the top. There's my top. Maybe I wanted to add another little gesture thing up there at the top. You notice that I overlapped here. That's really important. And you're like, why do you overlap? I put some extra down here, so this cardboard is where I put my glue, and right here is the rest of my design, okay? That's very smart. You want at least 2 fingers, I got some bigger fingers than you, 2 fingers space here to glue on the back of your mask so it'll be strong enough to stand on its own. Okay? Got to think ahead. So if you're adding something that goes onto the top up here, make sure you've got about at least 2 fingers width that's going to be glued to the back of your mask. Alright? So let's cut that out. And then we can add that to our other scrap of cardboard. I don't ever throw things out either. Okay, so there's our piece. Let's find another piece of cardboard. Here we go. So, and see, I can even line this up to an edge here. Just try not to waste a lot of my cardboard. Alrighty. Gonna line it up to that folded edge. And you know what? I'm gonna fold it right here so I know where I want to line it up at. See what I did? This is where the top of my other mask is. I just folded that back and made a line so I know where that's at. Okay? And the fire trucks are active today. Pray for the people that they're going to go visit. Alright, so going to go cut that guy out. Alright. Here's our mask. Here's that other piece. Okay. And then you can draw in the rest of your design, and you've got your template right here. What I would do with my template now is, what else do I want on my mask? Now that I've got my 2 pieces, okay, what else do I want? What kind of design do I want around my eyes? Do I want to do something fancy that highlights my eyes? You know, and the great thing about this, you can just draw half and work it out. If you're like, don't like that, then try over here on this side. You know, do I want to put just the big diamonds for my eyes? You know, what kind of design do I want? Just experiment. You've got 4 places to experiment and work out your design. And when you're ready, then you can put it on here, okay? If you want to cover this with wrapping paper, that's a good way to do it. If you want to paint it, use markers. You can use whatever you want to design and add color to your mask. So, I hope you enjoyed this. This is just a little brief tutorial on how to make your own Mardi Gras mask at home. And now, since it's nice and stiff, you can use like a bamboo skewer, or if you want to poke holes to wear it, don't poke it right next to the edge. Move it in a little bit so that it doesn't break, you know, it doesn't rip. I would actually put some duct tape on the back and then poke my hole through, and that way the duct tape will be extra strong if you're going to tie it on and wear it on your face. If you want to just hold it like on a stick, you can use, you know, a pencil, a paintbrush, the bamboo skewers that you might use for the grilling and stuff like that. There you go. All right, I hope you had fun learning how to make your own Mardi Gras mask with stuff you have at home. See you next time.